Death of a Unicorn is from writer and director Alex Sharfman. It's about a father and daughter couple played by Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega who are now on their way to a weekend retreat at the mansion of Rudd's wealthy pharmaceutical executive boss. But on the way there, they run over a unicorn, and the people at the mansion are willing to exploit the magical creature's healing properties for a profit. But the unicorn family wants the body back and are willing to kill as many people as necessary for that to happen. Yep, it's basically a killer unicorn movie, made by highbrow film company A24. You know that scene in The Cabin in the Woods where the monsters are loose and so many of them are just homages to other movies, and then there's that one random shot of a guy getting stabbed by a unicorn? Well, now we finally have that movie. It's a ridiculous concept, but it does actually make the unicorns, okay, maybe not scary per se, but menacing. The movie is a horror comedy. Unsurprisingly, how are they going to take this concept too seriously? But while it isn't that scary, it still takes the threat seriously enough. A good comparison would be Jurassic Park. They're both about scientists who mess with forces that they were never meant to mess with for profit and as a result get killed by monsters, and the tone is basically the same, with a little more humor in there and more gore. And the unicorns are basically as mean and vicious as the dinosaurs in that movie. And there is a decent amount of good kills in here. You get to see a bunch of rich jerks get their comeuppance, so that's cathartic in these times. There are points where the characters make some dumb decisions that get more people killed, but it's in a way where it feels like that's kind of the point. They're motivated by greed and they're not going to miss out on making more money just because it's going to get everyone killed or something. Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega have a nice relationship going on, even if their characters could have been developed a little further. However, it's not all great. The plot also does tend to feel a little bit of been there, done that. I mean, I wasn't expecting any real surprises, but I guess it's just more noticeable than I expected. A lot of it was underwhelming. Maybe it could have leaned a little less on the one joke that it's the unicorns that are killing people. Also, there's a very weird transition between day and night in the third act. That sounds like a nitpick, but it really is jarring. Like, 1 second they're inside and it's night, and then they step outside and it's suddenly day, and not even like an early daytime. 1 second it looks like it's midnight, and the next it's like noon. This is a film made by professionals. But don't get me wrong, this is a flawed movie, but I did have a very fun time with it. It's an entertaining horror comedy that takes its bizarre premise and rolls with it. A satirical movie about stupid greedy rich people getting impaled by unicorn horns. Not quite as fun as that may sound, but still pretty fun.
She is a creature of legend. In an age of sorcery and savagery.
Well, what have we here?
Demons.
No!
And dragons. She may be the last unicorn.
Welcome to this fine theater. I have been called the master of suspense, but nothing is more horrifying than talking or texting in the middle of a movie. Please do not text during the movie because it makes everyone psycho. Sincerely and emphatically, Alfred Hitchcock.
Drop is from Christopher Landon, director of the Happy Death Day movies and Freaky. It was written by Gillian Jacobs and Christopher Roach, who worked on Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island. It's about a widow who goes on a first date, except now she keeps getting texts from somebody saying that they'll kill her son if she doesn't kill her date. You know, normal awkward first date stuff. This is from Blumhouse, so it's probably going to be seen as a horror movie. But it's not really like that. It's more of a Hitchcock type thriller. An ordinary woman thrown into a tale of murder and suspense, except with more modern technology which is used to great effect. Although I'm probably going to put this video into my horror review playlist anyway, because I made that playlist before I decided to focus on double features and I rarely get to put stuff in it anymore. That only gets updated when both movies are horror, so this is close enough. Or if a horror movie ends up on my IMDB Bottom 100 series, which is not a good look for the genre. But anyway, it's also a lot less humorous than the director's best known previous work. This focuses mostly on the thrills and the stress. And it is thrilling and stressful. It gives us an intense situation and lets the tension sit to a boil for 95 minutes. But its pulpier plot tendencies make sure that despite all the stress, it still remains a lot of fun. It also has a likable and sympathetic lead in Megan Fahey. Unfortunately, by the end, a lot of things are revealed about the villains and their plan, and not all of it stands up to scrutiny. The plot requires some suspension of disbelief, but for a movie like this that's pretty well directed, that shouldn't be too hard. This is the most semi-serious film from the director, at least that I've seen. He also directed a Paranormal Activity sequel, so that's probably more serious than this. But this is also the best one I've seen from him. And I haven't seen any of the other two movies that the writers have in common, but I think it's safe to say that this is better than them too. A stressful yet fun Hitchcock-type thriller for a more modern world. You may not want to look at the next drop that gets set to your phone after this.